The news has been confirmed by Netflix themselves. They have announced that Netflix is to acquire Warner Bros. Following the separation of Discovery Global for a total enterprise value of $82.7 billion. But how will this affect AEW? Of course, Warner Bros. Is AEW's media partner. AEW Dynamite airs on TBS. AEW Collision airs on TNT. The pay-per-views air on HBO Max. So just how is this potential merger going to affect All Elite Wrestling? Is it good news? Is it bad news? We've got the latest updates and more in this breaking news update. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and a major development in the story that we brought you earlier on today. Initially, it was reported that Warner Bros. Discovery and Netflix had entered into exclusive talks about Netflix acquiring Warner Bros., but now it has been confirmed by Netflix and WBD themselves that Netflix is to acquire Warner Bros. Following the separation of Discovery Global for a total enterprise value of $82.7 billion. Now, just how this is going to affect AEW we'll get into in just a little bit, but Netflix in the last hour or so has released the following press release saying, quote, "Today, Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery announced they have entered into a definitive agreement under which Netflix will acquire Warner Bros., including its film and television studios, HBO Max and HBO. The cash and stock transaction is valued at $27.75 per WBD share, with a total enterprise value of approximately $82.7 billion, equity value of $72 billion. The transaction is expected to close after the previously announced separation of WBD's Global Networks division, Discovery Global, into a new publicly traded company, which is now expected to be completed in Q3 2026. This acquisition brings together two pioneering entertainment businesses, combining Netflix's innovation, global reach, and best-in-class streaming service with Warner Bros.' century-long legacy of world-class storytelling. Beloved franchises, shows, and movies such as The Big Bang Theory, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, The Wizard of Oz, and the DC Universe will join Netflix's extensive portfolio, including Wednesday, Money Heist, Bridgerton, Adolescence, and Extraction, creating an extraordinary entertainment offering for our audiences worldwide. Quote, "Our mission has always been to entertain the world," said Ted Sarandos, co-CEO of Netflix. "By combining Warner Bros.' incredible library of shows and movies, from timeless classics like Casablanca and Citizen Kane to modern favorites like Harry Potter and Friends, with our culture-defining titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Squid Game, we'll be able to do that even better. Together, we can give audiences more of what they love and help define the next century of storytelling," end quote. It continues on here by saying, quote, "This acquisition will improve our offering and accelerate our business for decades to come," continued Greg Peters, co-CEO of Netflix. Warner Bros. Has helped define entertainment for more than a century and continues to do so with phenomenal creative executives and production capabilities. With our global reach and proven business model, we can introduce a broader audience to the worlds they create, giving our members more options, attracting more fans to our best-in-class streaming service, strengthening the entire entertainment industry, and creating more value for shareholders. It continues by saying, "Today's announcement combines two of the greatest storytelling companies in the world to bring to even more people the entertainment they love to watch the most," said David Zaslav, president and CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery. "For more than a century, Warner Bros. Has thrilled audiences, captured the world's attention, and shaped our culture. By coming together with Netflix, we will ensure people everywhere will continue to enjoy the world's most resonant stories for generations to come." Now, this is how this will work. Now, it says here in the press release, combination will offer more choice, more opportunities, more value. Complementary strength and assets. Warner Bros. Studios are world-class, with Warner Bros. Recognized as the leading supplier of television titles and filmed entertainment. HBO and HBO Max also provide a compelling complementary offering for consumers. Netflix expects to maintain Warner Bros.' current operations and build on its strengths, including theatrical releases for films. It then says more choice and greater value for consumers by adding the deep film and TV libraries in HBO and HBO Max programming. Netflix members will have even more high-quality titles from which to choose. This also allows Netflix to optimize its plans for consumers, enhancing viewing options and expanding access to content. a stronger entertainment industry. This acquisition will enhance Netflix's studio capabilities, allowing the company to significantly expand US production capacity and continue to grow investment in original content over the long term, which will create jobs and strengthen the entertainment industry. More opportunities for the creative community. By uniting Netflix's member experience and global reach with Warner Bros.' renowned franchises and extensive library, the company will create greater value for talent, offering more opportunities to work with beloved intellectual property, tell new stories, and connect with a wider audience than ever before. More value to shareholders. By offering members a wider selection of quality series and films, Netflix expects to attract and retain more members, drive more engagement, and generate incremental revenue and operating income. The company also expects to realize at least $2 to $3 billion of cost savings per year by the third year, and expects the transaction to be accretive to GAAP earnings per share by year 2. It goes on into more details about, again, how this transaction is going to come together. But naturally, it's led to a lot of speculation of, so what's happening with AEW then? Because, of course, Netflix has a very strong relationship with WWE. They've just entered into a 10-year, $5 billion deal with World Wrestling Entertainment to be the exclusive streaming service, the exclusive home of WWE Monday Night Raw, streams live worldwide every Monday on Netflix. That's in the United States and around the world, but also internationally. It holds the exclusive rights to pretty much every other bit of WWE programming, whether it be SmackDown, NXT, main roster PLEs, NXT PLEs, plus much more. You can get everything with one Netflix subscription. With that being said, given their ties to WWE, what would it mean if WWE's media partner acquired AEW's media partner? Well, this is when it gets a little bit more complicated, because per a report from Mike Johnson, he kind of explains this very well from PW Insider, that for those who are asking about this, Netflix is not purchasing the linear channels owned by Warner Bros. Discovery, WBD. Those channels will be spun off into a new separate publicly traded company known as Discovery Global. Among those linear channels are TBS and TNT, which carry AEW programming, as well as CNN, the Discovery Channel, HGTV, the Food Network, etc. Discovery Global will also retain the ownership of Bleacher Report, which at one point streamed AEW pay-per-views, and the Discovery Plus streaming service. Netflix will, however, acquire HBO Max, which does currently stream AEW pay-per-views and has AEW content as part of its streaming library. Where the rights to AEW in terms of streaming lands when the purchase process is completed remains to be seen, but one would assume it would remain unchanged through AEW's current contractual agreements with WBD at the time that they came to terms. So in terms of this is a death sentence, this is the death knell for AEW, that doesn't look to be the case. Discovery Global are actually going to have TNT and TBS as separate publicly traded companies, still part of their portfolio. So theoretically, AEW in the future, once this current media rights deal comes to an end, could just continue there, but their streaming rights may change to maybe Discovery Plus or maybe back to Bleacher Report or something like that. So that remains to be seen, as Mike Johnson says. But as far as this being bad news for AEW, probably not, but with all of this stuff, it's still very much too early to say. So we'll have to wait and see what the developments are. It maybe does look worse for AEW than it actually is, but again, that remains to be seen. And whether or not this deal actually does go through, that's another point of contention as well, because of course it has to get approval, antitrust stuff, etc., etc. So there's still a lot of ways and a lot of steps to go throughout this whole process. So what do you guys think? What do you think of these developments? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Of course, as always, if we get any more information, if we get any more reaction from AEW, one would think there probably would be a story coming up soon from all of the different outlets regarding the AEW internal reaction. The AEW president and CEO Tony Khan has been very calm, very relaxed when he's been asked about this on recent media calls and in recent interviews, saying that they have a great relationship with WBD. And to stress that WBD isn't going to be going away. A new company is going to be formed separate of this Netflix WBD deal. So AEW in those terms could just be working with the new spin-off company, but maybe it could be entirely different. Again, this is still very, very early. The deal's only been announced. It's not even been completed yet and won't even be completed, if it is completed, by Q3 of 2026. So we've got a long way to go. And of course, AEW's contract with WBD runs until 2027 and there's an option year. So there's still a lot lot of different factors at play here. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. A reminder, SmackDown Major Surprise is coming up later today as well. This is a bit of a bonus video, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.